Following his reign as President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln said, "Nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power." Widely considered as the job that brings the most power and influence in the world, what does the president actually do? And what is their role in US politics? What is power anyway? Well, considering we are currently right at the cusp of a major presidential election race in the US, we thought it made sense to tell you about the president on our channel. That's how you choose your president? If you'd like to know more about the US political system, check out our channel for all sorts of simple, informative videos on how it all works. The President of the United States is the head of state and government, but also the commander-in-chief of the nation's military. Established under the US Constitution, the office of the president is one of the most powerful positions in the world, given the global influence of the United States. The role combines leadership over both domestic and foreign policy and embodies executive authority, making it a crucial pillar of the American political system. The history of US presidents began with George Washington, as you may know, who became the first president in 1789 after the ratification of the US Constitution. Washington set many precedents, including the peaceful transfer of power. In the early 19th century, Thomas Jefferson expanded the US through the Louisiana Purchase, while Abraham Lincoln led the nation through the Civil War, preserving the Union and abolishing slavery. Arguably one of the most important moments in US political history. The 20th century saw the rise of global leadership, with Franklin D. Roosevelt steering the US through the Great Depression and World War II. John F. Kennedy inspired a generation with his vision, though his assassination shocked the world. Really, that cannot be understated. Later, Ronald Reagan championed conservative policies and helped end the Cold War in the 80s. In recent history, Barack Obama became the first African-American president, and Donald Trump's presidency brought about significant political division. As you may know, Joe Biden is the current president of the United States, the 46th president to be specific, the presidential office in 2021. What is the constitutional basis and requirements? The powers and responsibilities of the president are outlined in Article 2 of the US Constitution. To be eligible for the presidency, a candidate must be a natural-born US citizen, at least 35 years old, and a resident of the United States for at least 14 years. I thought it would have been longer, but it's 14. Presidents serve 4-year terms and may be re-elected only once, meaning a maximum of 2 terms or 8 years in office is allowed, as established by the 22nd Amendment following Franklin D. Roosevelt's 4 terms. As the head of the executive branch, the president is responsible for enforcing federal laws, managing the nation's bureaucracy, and appointing key officials, including federal judges, ambassadors, and members of the cabinet, all of which are subject to Senate confirmation. If you'd like to know a little bit more about how the Senate confirms key officials in the presidential office, you can have a look at our previous video on the Senate with this link here. One of the president's primary duties is to ensure that the laws passed by Congress are faithfully executed. The president has the power to issue executive orders which direct federal agencies such as the FBI or CIA or EPA on how to implement laws or manage government operations. These orders have the force of law but can be overturned by the courts or repealed by future administrations. The president also plays a crucial role in shaping and guiding foreign policy, and this can arguably be one of the most important points, especially given all the conflicts that exist around the world currently. As the commander-in-chief of the US military, the president has the authority to deploy troops, although only Congress can formally declare war. However, modern presidents have frequently engaged in military actions without formal declarations of war, making this a contentious area of executive power. Additionally, the president has the authority to negotiate treaties with other nations, though these treaties again require Senate ratification, which always keeps the power of the president somewhat in check. Are you finding our videos about the US electoral system helpful? If you are, support us by clicking the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on these simple explanations of how US politics and the election system works. So, what is the legislative role of the president? Though the president cannot directly introduce legislation, they wield significant influence over the legislative process. In other words, the process of making new laws. The president has the power to veto bills passed by Congress, effectively preventing them from becoming law unless 2/3 of both the House and Senate vote to override the veto. Presidents often work closely with Congress to advance their legislative agendas, using their political capital, popularity, and negotiation skills to gain support for key initiatives. The president also delivers the annual State of the Union address to Congress, outlining the administration's priorities and vision for the future. This speech serves as an opportunity to set the national agenda and frame the president's policy goals. It also gives the public an insight into what the presidency is about at that time. Judicial powers. The president has the authority to appoint federal judges, including Supreme Court justices, who serve for life. These appointments can have a lasting impact on the legal landscape of the country. The president can also grant pardons and reprieves for federal offenses, except in cases of impeachment. A symbolic role. Beyond the constitutional duties, the president serves as a national figurehead, symbolizing the unity and the values of the United States. The president's words and actions carry significant weight, not only in the realm of politics but also in the national consciousness, especially during times of crisis. Presidents are often called upon to provide leadership and comfort during natural disasters, acts of terrorism, or social unrest. Checks and balances. Despite the significant power the office holds, the presidency is subject to a system of checks and balances, as you'd want it to be. The other branches of government, Congress and the judiciary, play vital roles in limiting executive authority. This system is designed to prevent any single branch from becoming too powerful, maintaining something of a balance that is fundamental to the structure of American democracy. The position of President of the United States is multifaceted, encompassing responsibilities as a political leader, a chief executive, a military commander, and a symbolic representative of the nation. The president's influence, both domestically and internationally, makes the office one of the most important in the world. However, the system of checks and balances ensures that this power is exercised within a framework designed to protect democratic governance. So, is there anyone that has power over the president? There are some branches of the government that do hold power over the president. Here's a list for you. Number 1. Congress can pass laws, control the budget, and impeach the president. Number 2. The Supreme Court can declare the president's actions unconstitutional. Number 3. The Constitution limits the president's powers and sets rules they must follow. Number 4. The Electoral College elects the president, not the popular vote directly, as we've explained in our previous video about the Electoral College. Number 5. Public opinion and media can influence the president's decisions and popularity. We've seen Donald Trump trying to control the media. Number 6. The cabinet advisors and officials who help guide decisions have significant influence. And number 7. State and local governments have their own powers that the president can't control directly. Well, that's a simple overview of what the President of the United States has to do in their role as head of the US government. As former President Harry Truman said, the buck stops here, meaning ultimately the US president makes any and all major calls. We hope this journey of understanding the US political system during this pretty great electoral race has helped you to understand what is going on amidst all the noise. Take a moment to subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends so that more people understand what this is all about. Stay tuned, as there are many more parts of this journey to share with you.